Alright, Ronan MMA, welcome back to the channel. Now, UFC Fight Night Almeida vs. Lewis took place last night. I want to give a brief recap of this entire event so that we can get to UFC 295's fight week, which is unbelievably exciting. I will put the picks video out immediately following this one, and then the rest of the week will just be phenomenal. Now, let's get straight to it. First fight of the night, Cal Fernandez vs. Mark G. Casey. Mark G. Casey was able to grind out a veteran-style grappling-heavy affair here. He was able to tire out Fernandez quite a bit, and then in the third round, Mark G. Casey actually started to land some good shots of his own once Fernandez was a little bit tired. Tough opponent for your debut. I thought he was going to be able to get the job done. Mark G. Casey's been extremely inconsistent as of late. It is what it is, but good for Mark G. Casey. It was a little bit boring, but it is what it is. Moving up the card to Eduardo Mora versus Montserrat Ruiz. I picked Eduardo Mora to win. She was a massive favorite here, and she was able to get a second round TKO once she got Montserrat Ruiz to the ground, which has kind of been Ruiz's kryptonite throughout her career. She's been controlled on the ground in multiple occasions, finished on the ground multiple occasions. Eduardo Mora was able to do what she does best and do work. Now, I will say, though, she should probably move up to flyweight. Okay, if you're going to miss weight by 3.5 pounds, that's a big weight miss, 119.5. Don't like it. Also, in moments in the striking, I just kept thinking that if it wasn't Montserrat Ruiz and it was a lady who was a little bit bigger, had a little bit of a longer reach, maybe had a little bit more power, she might have gotten caught with some shit. Her chin was pretty, open and up in the air. Her striking looked a little subpar, but once she got the fight to the ground, we saw what she does best. Now, moving up the card to Angela Hill versus Denise Gomez. Okay, I picked Denise Gomez to win this fight. Reason being, Angela Hill's almost 40 years old. She's extremely inconsistent, and I literally specifically said during my picks video, Angela Hill does not do enough, optically speaking, to win the rounds, and then she's always upset when a decision doesn't go her way and she can't figure out why. I said multiple times, I think it's because of her style, the pitter-patter shots that she throws. She doesn't throw with power. The optics are just bad. Her opponents are never like stumbling, wobbling, bleeding, any of this shit. Do you know what I mean? She just kind of touches. Now, in this fight, she changed that completely. Her knees in the clinch were nasty and very optically pleasing to the judges. Like, big body knees had Denise Gomez kind of curling up at moments. Now, Gomez had a lot of moments in this fight, and honestly, I can't remember what round it was, but one of the swing rounds, I thought maybe it would have went to Gomez just because she was landing the bigger, harder shots. But the work that Angela Hill did in the clinch, I think, is what ultimately won her this fight. She has very good knees from the clinch, very powerful looking. Even the punches she was throwing, the elbows, she seemed to have more snap behind them. She wasn't just trying to touch them. Dean Thompson even, touched on this when they went to him during the commentary. He said, yeah, she just throws arm punches. We need to, whatever, she needs to work on that. I thought she did a better job optically to make it clear that she was actually doing damage and she wasn't just touching her opponent. Do you know what I mean? So, good performance by Angela Hill. Stopped a up-and-comer 15 years younger than her and who was on a tear with multiple knockouts before this fight. Moving up the card to Vitor Patrino versus Modestas Bukakas. I picked Vitor Patrino to win. Now, I will say this, Modestas Bukakas, there were some moments in there where I thought, holy shit, that head kick was extremely close to landing. If he just makes a slight adjustments, a couple slight adjustments, he might be able to land some shit. He is very quick. Now, I'm sick, and Michael Bisping said this 5 fucking times within the first 3 minutes, and it made me want to smash my TV. Modestas Bukakas has the speed advantage. He's faster. He kept fucking saying it. I'm like, yeah, we know, dude. You've said that. But it's also not like Vitor Patrino's slow. When he whipped up a head kick, I was unbelievably surprised because usually with the big muscled up dudes who are very powerful, they don't throw as fast. But he's explosive. He's not just powerful, he's explosive. His kicks are very quick, very snappy, and he fucking put Modestas Bukakas out cold. Savage performance. Great job by him. He was a pretty big favorite, so he was supposed to win. Obviously got the crowd going in Brazil, which we will get to them later. Now, moving up the card to Renat Fakhretdinov versus Elisa Zaleski dos Santos. I picked Elisa Zaleski dos Santos for the upset here. It was a majority draw. I will say, I actually thought Elisa Zaleski dos Santos could have been given that second round. Renat Fakhretdinov did outstrike him in terms of numbers, but there was a moment where Zaleski dos Santos dropped him briefly. I don't even know if it was counted as a knockdown, but Renat Fakhretdinov went to a knee, popped back up immediately after. Elisa Zaleski dos Santos was consistently, throughout the course of this fight, after that tough first round that he had, landing really clean, crisp counter shots that were kind of, swinging the head around of Rinat Fakhretdinov. No credit to Rinat. Dude's got a hell of a fucking chin. Okay, this guy's tough as nails, and he might be my favorite fighter from this region. Just his attitude overall. He's extremely friendly with everybody. He was, we've seen guys like get upset over draws before. He was happy as fucking all get out, no problems. The way that he survived that third round after getting, hurt to the body with the kick from Zaleski dos Santos there, I thought, oh my God, this is done now. I do think that dos Santos could have maybe done some things better in that moment, but I'm not gonna, Monday morning quarterback or whatever the fuck, armchair quarterback that shit. But you hurt the guy to the body, you consistently throw to the head after the fact. It was a little strange, but it is what it is, dude. Very good performance by both these guys. Now, Rinat Fakhretdinov did kind of get exposed a little bit here. His striking is not great. If you are able to stay safe on the ground and get out of that first round or defend the takedowns, because after that first round, his takedown attempts, much more telegraphed, much more obvious, coming your way, a lot slower also, and Zaleski dos Santos was able to stop the vast majority of them after that first round, and obviously he had to stay safe in that first round, and by the way, it wasn't even a takedown, right? He got dropped, and then Rinat decided to go to the ground with him, but this was my favorite fucking fight, and I don't know how it didn't get fight of the night, if I'm being honest. That was a phenomenal fight, in my opinion. Absolute war. Both guys hurt. One in the first round, one in the third round. Like, just crazy. Zaleski dos Santos making a comeback. Very, very close fight. I do think there is a world where dos Santos could have gotten that second round just because of the cleaner, harder shots he was landing, in my opinion, than Rinat Fakhretdinov. Something that I thought was really strange was Michael Bisping kept demeaning, I guess, Zaleski dos Santos about countering, wanting to counter. Even though when it was clean as fuck. He was countering him cleanly the entire time. Rinat Fakhretdinov was whiffing on some shots. Zaleski dos Santos would have a tight counter for him. I don't know why it's weird. Michael Bisping does this all the time, but it is what it is, dude. If he would have went forward and started throwing big shots, Rinat Fakhretdinov very well could have just ducked under him and taken him down and controlled him for the rest of the round, so whatever. Zaleski, if he was maybe 5 years younger, I think he would have gotten the job done here. Moving up the card to Elvis Brener versus Kainan Kruczewski. Okay, I picked Elvis Brener to win. Holy shit, dude. That guy's got crazy power, and it doesn't even look like it. He doesn't have this crazy physique. He doesn't look overly strong. He barely fucking touched the dude, it looked like. It didn't even look like a clean shot, if I'm being honest. And he face planted. Great performance. Like, holy shit. The crowd was going crazy for that one. But, yeah, Elvis Brener is very good, man. I thought that, both these guys have a lot of submissions on the record. Elvis Brener does seem to be the better striker, so I thought that he was going to be able to hurt Kainan in a moment and then jump on a submission, because I didn't think that either of these guys were going to be able to submit one another without somebody being hurt. So, great performance by Elvis Brener. Moving up the card, too, Kyle Brile versus Abus Magamedov. I picked Kyle Brile to get the job done now. It was a closer fight than a 290 favorite maybe should have had, but he just essentially outstruck Abus Magamedov. And I do believe all 3 rounds. And then that in the third round, you saw Abus Magamedov's gas tank start to wither away. Now, he did make it, 7 to 10 minutes longer than he did against Sean Strickland. But I think that that's just a testament to Sean Strickland's fucking pressure and what he does to guys and how frustrating he is to deal with made Abus Magamedov melt in about 5 minutes. Kyle Brile looked very good considering he decided to strike with Abus Magamedov for the vast majority of this fight, when we know that Kyle Brile's bread and butter is typically his grappling. He's got a lot of submission victories. There were moments that I saw him making some errors on the feet, and some shit just looked not perfect, like not up to par. It didn't matter though. He got the job done against Abus Magamedov, so it is what it is, dude. Moving up. Now, he called out Dricus du Plessis. I don't think he's going to be getting that fight, and I don't think he really deserves that fight as of right now. I think Dricus du Plessis would do whatever the fuck he wanted to Abus Magamedov, but I like the call out. A lot of guys don't ever have a name they want to say. Do you know what I mean? So at least he's going to make headlines or what have you with that call out, and showed that he can go the full distance, by the way. Also, it doesn't have gas tank issues because he has been getting pretty consistently finishes throughout his career, so that was good to see from a young up-and-coming guy. It will be interesting to see him fighting ranked opponents after this win. Moving up the card to Rodrigo Nascimento versus Dantale Mays. I picked Rodrigo Nascimento to win. He was a pretty sizable favorite. I thought that he was gonna get the job done by submission because he submitted Dontale Mays in their first fight, and then Dontale Mays was trying to act like he's some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fucking, phenom now. Well, my favorite move's a triangle choke. Well, okay, dude, try that out. Now, first 2 rounds I scored for Rodrigo Nascimento. The third round I scored for Dontale Mays. I thought Rodrigo in the first and second round was clearly landing the bigger, harder shots. Hurt Dontale Mays on a number of occasions. Busted up his face. Now, Dontale Mays, credit to him, hell of a fucking chin. And never stopped. Never wilted. Even though there were moments where a lot of guys may have got it to the point where Rodrigo Nascimento seemed to be getting tired of beating this dude up, which was just, whatever. They're heavyweights. I figured if this didn't get finished quickly, it would go the distance and it might be slow. It wasn't as slow as I anticipated. It was a pretty good fight considering they're both, morbidly obese heavyweights, but it is what it is. Rodrigo Nascimento gets the job done by unanimous decision. Moving up the card to the biggest upset of the night. Toad was correct, okay? Toad in my chat. Gabriel Bonfim versus Nicholas Dalby. Nicholas Dalby just straight chatted this one out, dude. Just march forward, Giga Chad shit. Didn't fucking care that Gabriel Bonfim's extremely powerful. And my cat just jumps on my desk. No problem. Can you get off, lady? Hey? Get gone. That way. Okay. Thank you. Now, Gabriel Bonfim. I did say in my picks video that there are times that he can get reckless on the feet. And they, if somebody has true knockout power, I do think they'd be able to tag him if they can get past the first couple of minutes. Because when he throws, he's extremely reckless. No defense on, that's not in his mind whatsoever, is protecting himself. He's just throwing mad offense. I didn't think Nicholas Dalby was going to be able to knock him out because he doesn't historically have crazy power. And he's been submitted before. So I thought if Gabriel Bonfim got him to the ground, it would almost be like, done deal. Wasn't the case. Wasn't the case at all. Nicholas Dalby just kept marching forward. Did not give a fuck how beat up he got. He had a very tough first round, and he just kept coming. You could tell Gabriel Bonfim slowly thereafter started to wilt away. He was tired because he goes fucking balls to the wall off rip. Clearly doesn't have the gas tank to keep up with that pace. Nicholas Dalby just steady, consistent, marching forward, taking shots, landing shots of his own, and then finishes Gabriel Bonfim at the end of round 2. Fucking phenomenal performance by Nicholas Dalby. And you know what, dude? I wish that the Brazilian crowd would have been a little bit more appreciative. I understand that your guy lost, and it's upsetting, but Nicholas Dalby was very complimentary of you guys, even though you don't necessarily deserve it based on the last few times they've gone to Brazil, okay? The fans have been shit. And I'm going to get to their inconsistency in their shittiness in a second when we talk about the main event, Jailton Almeida versus Derrick Lewis. Holy shit, dude, I almost fell asleep. And this card started earlier than most cards by like an hour. So it was maybe 9. I thought, oh, this will wrap up by fucking 8, 8:20, 8:30 at the latest. And then all of a sudden it's 9 p.m. I'm like, hey, dude, I'm an old man. I'm ready for fucking bed. Are you gonna do something or what, dude? You know what I mean? And look, I get that it's also on Derrick Lewis to get the fuck up. Obviously, he didn't want to expose himself to a submission or anything like that. But Jailton Almeida, in the most dominant position in all of MMA on the ground, did fuck all. The first round, he fished for subs, and that was about it. You could probably, it was maybe one submission attempt per round. Now, credit to Derrick Lewis for being able to defend those. But, how many fucking... There's a new rule that says you can't stall. I don't care what position he's in. He was stalling. That is what it is. I know that there's going to be people that are like, oh, if you don't like grappling, watch kickboxing, which I fucking do. But also, that's not fighting, dude. It's part of fighting, but he wasn't doing anything with it. There was moments where he literally just laid on top of him. Unironically, just laid down on top of him. And, as I said, it is up to Derrick Lewis to get the fuck up. And there were moments where I thought, had he been a little bit more careful or a little bit more calculated on the get up and not tried to swing for punches as he's not even fully back to his feet yet, he might have been able to find the KO. Come on, cat, dude. Okay? Jailton Almeida would just immediately shoot a single or what have you as Derrick Lewis is halfway up, winging fucking uppercuts. And, man, I thought Derrick Lewis was going to be able to catch him. Jailton Almeida clearly did not want to be on the feet whatsoever, which I don't necessarily blame him. Obviously, it's Derrick Lewis, crazy fucking power. But man, this guy. And then the crowd is what I want to touch on. The crowd was cheering this guy like crazy, okay? After one of the most boring performances we've seen in recent memory. I can't think of one that almost put me to sleep that badly, especially over the course of 25 minutes. You had that much time to work on the ground with Derrick Lewis as a fucking black belt who has submitted almost every single other opponent, and you couldn't do a goddamn thing to him. It's very strange. Mark Goddard warns them probably 10 fucking times for inactivity and doesn't do shit about it, okay? The crowd goes crazy for this guy. By the way, this guy's clearly on Paulo Costa's secret juice. Like, I mean, holy shit, okay? Either way. The crowd goes crazy for him. What I don't understand is why is the crowd going crazy for this? Like, melatonin of a performance. But Glover Teixeira, on his way out in his last fight ever, getting beat by Jamal Hill, they all fucking walk out of the arena. And Glover Teixeira is a guy that gave us countless exciting performances, war after war after war, won the belt at 40 fucking years old, okay, in dominant fashion, finished Jan Blachowicz in the second round, if I'm not mistaken. But Jailton Almeida lays on top of Derrick Lewis for 5 fucking rounds, and you guys cheer for. It's wild to me, man. They're walking out of the arena for one of their best representations of the sport, yet this guy gets all the cheers. It was just weird to me. I don't understand, dude. That was a showcase spot. Main event in Brazil, second main event in a row. Do you think they're going to be main eventing this guy anytime soon? You know, I sure fucking hope not. Give this guy 15 minutes at most. I don't want to see 25 minutes of that ever again. Jesus Christ, dude. That was very slow and boring to watch. But good for him. Good performance, I guess. A dominant performance at the very least. Derrick Lewis, you know, unfortunate. But I mean, fucking hell, dude. He took this on short notice. Flew all the way to Brazil also. Again, showcase event. Showcase spot for you. Main event. Bunch of Brazilians on the fucking card. Literally built around you. And you do that, dude. You know? It's unfortunate. Either way. Moving on to the next event. I will see you at the picks video for UFC 295 in just a little bit. Like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.